Let's turn this glass jar into this. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Phil. This is Incredible Inverts and Other Animals. And yes, in today's video, we're going to be turning this glass jar here into a fantastic terrarium for some very special isopods. So let's go ahead, take a look and see how I do it. Okay, so here we have my glass jar, which we're going to be turning into a terrarium. I've done a similar video to this with a similar jar before for some of my Cabaris Panda Kings, so do go and check that video out. And I've had this jar actually kind of around for quite some time, kind of waiting for me to do a terrarium with it. And so we're going to be doing that today. Now, initially, I was going to put my Cabaris cherry blossoms in it, but I've decided not to just yet, but I plan to still. But lid, I've drilled some holes in there for ventilation, and it's all going to be set up with the purpose of isopods in the future. So this is going to be kind of like a Valentine's-y themed enclosure for them eventually. So going in with a drainage layer of just some white aquarium gravel. So I had this sort of lying around. Someone didn't really know what to do with it, so I thought actually it will make quite a nice contrast with the colours they're going to be using in here and with the substrate. And so it'll act as, like I say, a bit of a drainage layer for this. So just going in with a few handfuls of this in here to create, a nice sort of layer. It doesn't need to be too deep, because otherwise we'll lose a lot of the height in here, but I just want to be, just a nice covering of the bottom. And you can use various things like various aquarium gravels, Akadama, there's also the clay pebbles, so the hydraulic or expanded clay balls as well. Things like that, anything like that to create a drainage layer. So it's just as added protection if you were to sort of overwater it, but really with terrariums, you don't need to be doing much watering, if any kind of watering at all. So that's looking kind of about right to me. So next thing going to be putting in is a bit of mesh to separate. So this is actually just basically some weed membrane that you get from the garden centre. So for trying to prevent weeds from growing in your garden. So I use this sort of stuff quite a lot, quite cheap to get hold of. So it works, really well. So it's just cut to the sort of roughly to the size, slightly bigger than the jar itself, and just trying to sort of poke it in place in areas. And the whole idea is to try and stop, as try and not get so much substrate getting into the gravel. You want to sort of avoid that if you can. Now, a little bit sometimes gets through, and that's it's not huge. It's probably not really the end of the world, but it just sort of they'll try and help keep some sort of shape. This bit sometimes takes the longest part for me. It can get sometimes a bit frustrating, just constantly poking around and it not wanting to go quite in place. But just bear with it. Don't rush it. Just take your time with it. Then eventually it'll sort of work. And then we'll go in with some substrate. So the substrate I'm going to be putting in it, because again in the future I will hope to put isopods in it. I'm going to be using some custodians then from MK Exotics. This is a fantastic substrate for all isopods. Every single species of isopod that I've used this with really do well, breathe really quickly with it. So highly rate this substrate. Now I do have a discount code for MK Exotics, so if you go into the description of this video, you will find that discount code. So if you spend over 30 quid on their website, you get a little bit of discount with using my code, and I get a little commission at no extra cost to you guys as well. So it's certainly well worth doing, and that covers substrate and plants. So I'm using basically all the rest of. Well, I've got the custodians in. I need to get some more of this next time I see MK, and just putting it in, spreading that around, and then what I'll do is I'll find basically what I want to be kind of the front of the jar. So what I'm looking at here, just looking to see which way I want to be the front of it, the glass, and some of it's got a bit smudged from the gravel going in and stuff that happens. So I'll just pop it off. And once I've found what to me looks like a nice area to be, the front bit, I'm going to then slope the substrate towards the back, so it creates a sense of depth. So this is always really good to do with any kind of terrarium build. So just literally just open that tool about pushing something to the back, creates a sense of depth, sense of height, and stuff. Creates sort of almost like different layers and levels and stuff. So it really helps and makes sort of enclosures and terrariums and things look slightly bigger and stuff because it creates kind of more surface area. So once that's done, that's looking quite nice and happy with it. You can go in then with kind of any hardscape that you might have. Now for this, I'm just going to use a single stone. This is rose quartz or pink quartz that my partner Amy, the Night Owls creatures, gifted to me actually quite a while ago. This is going to be perfect for this kind of build. It's absolutely fine to be used with animals, and so you can buy this sort of stuff in aquarium shops quite commonly and be used in aquariums. And normally, if something's safe for fish, it's safe for pretty much everything. I can see here, struggle sometimes to get my hands in there to move around, so just using my handy tweezers just to gently sort of move around, get into a position that I like the look of. And there's no real kind of right or wrong thing with where you're going to place your hardscape. Again, it's all down to personal preference of what you think looks nice, what you're happy with. Move around a bit, see what you're happy with. I'm happy with where it's sitting currently. So next up is let's start getting this sort of planted up and looking more like a terrarium. So I'm going to go in with this lovely pink earth star. So it's pink and green. This is going to be kind of like almost like a focal sort of plant. So we're going to take it out of the pot, and actually what I'm going to do is remove all of the soil, or as much of the soil as I can. Let's come with, and I'll just make it easier to plant in the terrarium. So I've done that now. You can see the roots there. I've even given them a bit of water. There's still a little bit of soil on there, but this will be much easier to plant now into this substrate. So just with the tweezers, going to basically get those roots into the substrate, move around, get it into a position again that I like the look of. So try and make it kind of as natural looking as possible. So and kind of angle it as well if I can. It's kind of a case of constantly looking at it, seeing what it looks like, and again, just angling it around there. So it's kind of then almost like facing the front, and just making sure that the roots are all in the substrate and then completely covered, and then that's nicely planted in. Next, I'm going to go in with some moss. So I've got these patches of moss which actually are forest for. Various mosses will work in terrariums, and this is going to go around the back of the quartz as well. And then I'll be putting some cuttings into that. This just adds that little bit of greenery into the enclosure, and moss in terrariums enclosures always makes them look nicer in my opinion. You can't go wrong with a bit of moss going in. And again, you can use various mosses that you can forest them. You can buy them online. You can buy them at a lot of the shows as well. So if you go to aquarium stores, some of the aquarium mosses work really well inside terrariums too as well. Sort of thing to get some great ones, especially with the little once you get on the sort of the gel in the pots and stuff. That sort of the mosses and plants and those can work really well in terrariums. So just literally pulling this moss around, and I'm basically just breaking bits off from a bigger bit and pushing it just down onto the substrate. And I mean, it really helps if the moss has already got moisture in it and stuff, so you don't have to then overwater the terrarium. And that's one of the biggest killers of terrariums is overwatering. They really don't need much, if any at all. Obviously, this will need occasional because it has got the ventilation in the lid, so we'll have to give it just a gentle bit of watering every now and then. But again, it doesn't need a lot. So again, just patting down that moss into place, making sure it looks nice to me, making sure I'm happy with it. And that looks good to me. So I'm going to now go in with some plant cuttings. So first I've got this lovely pink hyphanesis. This plant works fantastic in terrariums. This, as well as things like Photonia, they work kind of as well as each other. This is a real nice pink one. And you're going to perhaps start sensing a bit of a theme here with the pink going in. So you've got pink earth star with some shades of pink on it. Now this pink plant going in. And just putting the cutting through the moss into the substrate, and this should root in nice and easily. These these plants do really, really well in terrariums. And they come in all sorts of colours, so they are good to just add in those little bits of colours into them. So you often get in things like pink, red, white. They're kind of the main three colours. They tend to see. As all of them look not really nice. So again, just having a look there just to make sure I like the look of it. So I'm kind of trying to make it busy without making it too busy in here, if that makes sense. So then next up, I'm going to go in with some flower cuttings. So these bright pink flowers. I can't remember the name of this plant. I don't know if this one will work. So this one's a bit of an experiment, but we'll see. And so, well, just knock the camera there. Rookie mistake. But just putting that in there. It's cutting. It'll either work or it won't. So, and if it doesn't, the plant it came from actually has plenty on it that I can always replace if needed. So, and so nice and pink, lots of pink in this room. Very unlike me, uh, but I actually think it looks really, really nice, and it's nice to do something that's a bit different every now and then. So, once you're happy with the plants, which I'm happy with the amount of plants in there and how they look. I'm actually then going to basically top off the front of the substrate with more of the white gravel. So I did leave some aside. I'm going to go in there with some tools just to put some white gravel just at the front. And this again just makes it that I actually find again actually was a real nice contrast with the pinks. I think it works really, really well. And just as another sense of sort of interest into this build. So, and without it kind of looking not too unnatural, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, obviously can get various colours of gravel. Experiment with it. Again, do what you like the look of. So I'm just going in there with a few scoops of this gravel, moving it around just to make sure it's not anywhere where I don't want it to actually be. And so when I do eventually perhaps put the cherry blossoms or any other ice pods in here, they can get to the substrate and what they need behind the gravel. So it's only the front part of it. So around the back of the other plants, and around the moss, they can bury into that. They can add leaf litter into little areas and anything that they need. So the foreground isn't the most sort of important bit. The foreground kind of is just displayable kind of thing, whereas the back of the terrarium is where ice pods can access all the substrate and everything that they need to have and need to thrive. But like I said, at the moment I haven't actually put any ice pods in here, but hopefully I will do in the future. And so again, happy with how the gravel looks. And then well, because it's coming up to the Valentine's Day, so this is basically my Valentine's terrarium, Valentine's enclosure, if you like. I'm going to be sticking in a little love heart in there as well as a bit of extra decoration. So again, just putting that in a position that I like the look of. And I will actually be having these love hearts available on my store at various shows. So the first one will be Taunton, that they'll be available at. And there we go. There's a quick little look. I'm quite happy with this. No, I would have put the cherry blossoms in there, but I've only got 5, and I want them to breed first. Really, I don't want them to get completely lost from each other. So they are in a smaller enclosure, temporary enclosure, sort of little setup, where they can at least find each other and hopefully breed well first, and then eventually, perhaps when they've got loads, I will then stick them in here. But that is the terrarium done. Sort of thing. We'll have perhaps a bit of a closer look at it. Okay, so we'll put the lid on. So you can see there is ventilation there for when I do put ice pods in here. And that's what it looks like now with the lid on. Again, I actually, I really enjoyed this build. It's come out quite nice. It's completely different to the sort of thing I would normally do. But that's quite fun to do something a bit different. Not quite in my wheelhouse. Normally, I wouldn't do quite so much just in pink and stuff. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. So maybe gives you some ideas of things you can do yourself. This video will be coming out just a little bit before Valentine's Day. So, guys out there, might have just enough time to quickly knock up a Valentine's terrarium for your loved one. I think that'd make a really nice gift for anyone, for someone as well for Valentine's Day, and especially if you make it yourself, that's even more thoughtful, isn't it? So, and if you put some isopods in, and they're an isopod lover, even better. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. So again, remember to check out the discount code for this substrate, the MK Exotics Custodians Den. Fantastic substrate. So I've never had a problem with it. All the other pods I use it with absolutely love it. And they also do plants and all sorts of things as well. Okay, guys, so that was my Valentine's Terrarium build. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's a very different style to what I would normally build. Very pink, very colourful. But yeah, actually, I like it. Yeah, it's nice to do something a bit different every now and then. Now, I was planning to put my Virus Cherry Blossoms in here. That is going to be the long-term plan. And so, I only have 5 of them. I want them to breed first before I stick them into something so big. And so it's built with isopods in mind. It's built with those guys in mind. And so I think they would look absolutely fantastic in here. So hopefully this does well, and grows and stuff. And hopefully when I get plenty of cherry blossoms, I can then have some cherry blossoms into here. So and yeah, I think that would look absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'm not quite ready yet to put them in as far as I'm concerned. But when I'm ready, and again, this hopefully does well, yep, they will go in there. And so, but yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down in those comments. Remember, the substrate Custodian Den from MK Exotics, fantastic substrate for isopods. I do have a discount code for them. It's down in the description, so check that out. And for all your substrate needs, there's a whole range of different substrates which are fantastic. Every single one I've used has been great. So I would also do plants that have always fantastic quality as well. So as well as a bunch of other things that you can't go wrong. But those guys also check out the description for things like my affiliate link for Spider Shop, which if you do your shopping with them through that link, I get a little bit of commission and no extra cost to you guys. There's also a link from my own website where you can do your shopping with me for various inverts and other things. So, then there's also links to my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, things like that, as well as Patreon if that interests you, or you become a channel member here on YouTube again if that interests you. There's a few different tiers there. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications so you know next time I upload another video. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, if you liked it. And until next time, guys, happy Valentine's Day. Take care and keep rocking.